How long should you respond to texts and emails? If we were to sum up all of this messaging and how long do you respond to messaging, still here in Budapest, this wonderful garden still. It's at the Buda Castle Museum above. Anyway, my cousin Sim, shout out to Sim at touringduo.com. Go and check that out, by the way. Sim put a question to me, a video request really, and she said I should answer, how long should you leave it to respond to texts and emails? And she did this because she was aiming it at me, because anyone that knows me probably thinks I'm absolutely terrible at responding to messages. The way that I do things, I've got a method behind it, and it may not be right, but if I get a load of messages in, let's say I get a load of WhatsApp messages or something like that come in, I tend to leave them unread until I'm ready to deal with them. So if I'm busy with something, then I can't deal with that. So it looks like I'm not responding. But for me, it just really works. So if you've seen some of my other videos on things like setting goals and the 3 things I do a day, I actually use something that I read from Tim Ferriss in 4 Hour Work Week, like years ago. And he called it the information diet. So I took all these things. So if you think about it, I do 3 things a day that I'm focusing on, like Kaizen. These are like 3 focus blocks of effort that I apply to 3 results, small results that I want a day. And I say things like, ignore general emails. Unless they're actually going to move you closer to one of your goals, just ignore the emails. Now, obviously, that is not responding to emails. So some of the emails get left for that reason. In terms of messages, yes, I am a bit of a pain sometimes getting round to it. But if I click on a message and read it, then it's unread and it then goes off my radar. Whereas if it's there and I know I've got to respond to it, I'll tend to pick it up when I'm ready. Few rules then. Let's try and answer this. How long should you respond to texts and emails? Okay, let's start with a sales meeting. Okay, so a sales inquiry comes in, an email. How long do you respond to it? I would say if the inquiry comes in the morning, you need to respond to it in the afternoon. If it comes in late in the day or in the afternoon, you respond to it in the morning. So it's almost, you could say, you respond to a sales inquiry on the next available half working day. That's that. Okay, let's say a business negotiation. So any negotiation, right? Okay. If it's a negotiation and you have a certain amount of leverage, so you've got like a particular upper hand, it makes sense for you to delay your response slightly longer than the response that you're getting from the other person. So you could say, if you're negotiating with someone over the price of some property, they lay their hand down first, right? That's a weak position from them. And it takes them a day to do that. For you, you should go like a day and a half or a day and a quarter or something like that, just slightly longer. And psychologically, the longer you take, this is where you can get into the psychology of responding to messages, because the longer you take, it's almost like an assumed sense of power. So you can play a few games with this. There are loads of tactics. So if you think about the dating world, right? If you're a guy in the dating world, the way that you do this is written in loads of books. You meet a girl, you message her the next day saying, nice to meet you. You leave it, let's say 4 days to 6 days, maybe 8 days, arrange a date. You go on the date, do not message her. Wait 4 to 8 days again, message her again to set up the next date. I know it sounds cruel and mean, but that is a psychology that works. It's written in every book and it actually works. It's mean. Yeah, you leave her on red and all that stuff, and it is mean, but you can play a few rules with it. If you just want to be yourself, that's fine. But accept the results that you get from that. So if we were to sum up all of this messaging and how long do you respond to messaging, one of the things, if you're really struggling with this, one of the best things you can do is just mirror the other person. Look at the response. So obviously, if you're talking to someone and they're taking a day to respond and you're responding in 5 minutes, that actually is psychologically weak. Even if you think you're just being your genuine self, that's great. You'd be better just holding back a little bit and just mirroring and testing the response. Let me know what you think. I hope Simone, she's going to give me a lot of grief about this, but in return, because she thinks I'm terrible. In return, go and check out touringduo.com. Put a link down below. Go and check her new travel blog out. All right? Hope that was quite a fun one. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you all next time.